Hey guys, I have spent the greater portion of 2013 in front of this computer writing and rewriting and revising and cutting and editing and making new characters and coming up with new places and editing for a long, long time. And I thought since I have just gotten through it and I'm sort of at a point where it's almost pretty much kind of done, I would give you guys 5 tips to survive writing on a deadline. It doesn't have to be edits. It can be any kind of deadline in your head. It doesn't have to be a deadline from an agent or an editor. It can be a self-imposed deadline. The point is you have a specific date in your head that you absolutely have to be done by. You have to treat it like a job. Figure out realistically how many hours a day you can spend writing. Figure out what your other obligations in life are, whether you have another job or your kids or your family or whatever, and then make a schedule of these are the times I will write. All right, so the kids are in school until 3. As long as I don't go to the grocery store or clean the house, I probably don't need to shower every day. Kind of going along with the treating it like a job thing, figure out based on your deadline how much work you need to get done a day to meet your deadline. So if you are working on a first draft, maybe you're going to be having a word count goal. You need to get 2,000 words a day finished. If you are editing, maybe you need to get through so many chapters a day. If you have an edit letter with a bulleted list of things to fix, maybe you need to say, I'll get through 2 items on that list a day. 7 days to get through 32 chapters, so clearly I'm going to die. Get yourself an accountability partner, somebody else who's writing on a deadline just like you are. And just having that person there who's kind of under the same kind of stress as I am and they completely understand it really makes a big difference. And on those days when I would just be totally lazy and not feeling like writing, I would get a text message or they would hit me up on GChat and they'd be like, hey, are you writing? Of course I'm right. Yeah, I mean, like I have time to not be writing. I was just getting ready to get started. I mean, I just sat down at my computer and I wasn't even watching YouTube. So I was just waiting for you, actually. Form a support group. It can be with anyone, just a few of your friends who are under whatever kind of stress they're involved in. And basically, your sole roles in life are to keep each other happy. My circle of friends and I kept each other happy by trading stories of ridiculous things that we saw on Twitter, YouTube links, and homemade music videos. Music hit me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. What am I to run and do like... Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's really hard, you guys. Writing is so hard. Especially when you're editing and you're rewriting, you're having to re-envision the story that you've created. It's really hard. You've thought about it one way and now you're having to think about it in a completely new way. Just don't be afraid to admit that it's hard. Through each of my deadlines, I every single time got really close to the end of my deadline, had a breakdown, talked to my editor, and she fixed it like in a minute. Like something I'd been stuck on for days. She would just be like, boom, done, move on. And I would. It was fantastic. So whether you have an editor, an agent, critique partners, someone that you can turn to when you get stuck, it's okay. Do it. Nobody's going to think less of you. There's way better than letting yourself waste precious time stuck on something that you don't have to be stuck on. You don't have time for that. You're on a deadline. So those are my tips for writing on a deadline, which was something that was brand new to me before I got a book deal. I'd never really written on a deadline before. I'd never had anyone else waiting on me for something. So it was really hard. And if you guys are on deadlines, self-imposed or otherwise, trust me, I feel for you. I understand. And if you guys need support, I'm on Twitter. And if you have your own tips and ideas of things that you've done to help yourself get through the deadlines, please share them in the comments below. I would love them for myself, and I'm sure everybody else would love to see them too. Have a great week.